Just last week, a client walked into my clinic and said something I hear all the time from martial artists. He said, "Doc, I've been training Brazilian jiu-jitsu for 3 years and I love it. But lately, every time I roll or even think about going for a takedown, my lower back just locks up. Now, it doesn't hurt all the time, but when it does, I can barely get out of bed the next morning." Now, this guy was still moving pretty well. He was not in constant pain. And honestly, he was still showing up to class. So on the surface, it didn't seem like a big deal. But here's what worried me. He had started to hesitate. And if you train martial arts, you know that hesitation can be seriously dangerous. So let me ask you this. Does your back pain have you second guessing your moves? Are you holding back when you should be flowing? Because if you're nodding your head right now, this video is for you. All right, so whether you're rolling in jiu-jitsu, throwing kicks in Muay Thai, or flying through the air in Taekwondo, martial arts put some serious demands on your spine. And when I say serious, I mean your back is working overtime every single session. Think about your spine like a suspension system in your car. When everything is working right, you can hit bumps, you can take sharp turns, and you can accelerate hard without having any problems. But when that suspension starts to wear out, every little bump becomes a big deal. So you might be wondering what can throw off your spinal suspension. There are a few common culprits, and I'm gonna break the big ones down now. So first, you've got repetitive flexion and rotation. Every time you're rolling, grappling, and shooting for takedowns, your spine is bending and twisting over and over again. That's like taking your car off-roading every single day. Eventually, something is going to give. Number 2, that explosive movement. Those kicks, the lightning fast transition. Basically, any movement when you're generating serious power, your spine has to be rock solid and stable while also being incredibly mobile. And that's a tough job. So your third thing, and this is a big one, when your core isn't doing its job. Okay, so your deep core muscles are supposed to be like a built-in weight belt or back brace that protects your spine during these intense movements. But if they're weak or not firing properly, your spine can become the weak link in all of your movements. So number 4, tight hips. I know. Everybody's heard that before. But here's the thing. When your hip flexors or your hamstrings get tight, they pull your pelvis out of position. And when your pelvis is out of whack, your lower back has to pick up the slack. So over time, these little micro strains add up. It's like that rope analogy I always use. If you rub the rope against the same spot over and over again, eventually it's going to fray. Now, here's where physical therapy comes in. And I really want to be clear here. We're not going to tell you to stop training, mainly because it wouldn't happen anyway, right? You're not going to quit practicing martial arts because of some lower back pain. So instead, think of PT like this. You know how your martial arts instructor doesn't just teach you the techniques, they also correct your form. That's exactly what we do, but for your movement patterns. So picture this. Your body is like a well-oiled martial arts technique. When everything is working right, the power flows from your feet up through your core and out through your hands and your hips. It's smooth, it's controlled, and it's effective. But when your back pain shows up, it's like having a kink in your garden hose. The power is still there, but it's not flowing the way it should. You start to compensate even without realizing it. So maybe you're holding your breath when you should be flowing. Maybe you're tensing up your shoulders, or maybe you're favoring one side. So what do? We find the kink in that chain and we straighten it out. First, we assess your spine and how it's actually moving. Not just if it hurts, but how well it's functioning during the movements you actually need for your sport. Then we look at the whole system. i.e. we look at your hips, your core, we look at how you breathe under pressure, we look at how you're generating power. Because here's the thing, your back pain might be coming from somewhere completely different than where you feel it. And then we help you retrain that weak link. We teach your core to fire properly again. And when we get your hips moving the way that they should, then we can make sure that you can generate the power without your spine taking all of the abuse. The goal isn't just to make you feel better. The goal is to get you back on the mats, training at full intensity with confidence and without that voice in the back of your head wondering if your back's going to hold up. So if lower back pain is messing with your training, or worse, if it's keeping you off the mats completely, don't just tough it out. I get it. Martial artists are tough. But there's a difference between being tough and being smart. You wouldn't keep training on a broken toe. You'd get it looked at so that you could get back training properly, and your back deserves the same attention. If this sounds like what you're dealing with, check out the comments below. I'm going to put a link to my clinic where you can schedule a visit, or just drop your questions in the comments and I will personally reply. Let's get you back to doing what you love without your back getting in the way. Because the mats are calling and you've got training to do.